3 sovereign funds are on hold. The restructuring terms sit inside a folder only 4 people have read. $7.3 billion. You close the folder. You don't look at it again. 14 time zones adjusted their Monday around this call. You didn't ask them to. You didn't have to. The call lasts 19 minutes. When it ends, a currency corridor in Southeast Asia quietly shifts direction. You set the phone down, you pour coffee, you move to the next item. You didn't start here. You started where everyone starts, at the bottom of a system designed to feel like a ladder, but built like a filter. Every floor between that first desk and this room took something from you that had no line item, no invoice, no receipt. This is what each of those floors looked like, and what each one cost. Level 1, Analyst. You are 22, the building has 41 floors, you work on the 7th. Your badge still smells like the lamination machine. You checked the company's 10K last night, $4.1 billion in revenue, 12,000 employees, 3 segments you memorized and no one will ask you about. Your job is spreadsheets, decks, data cleaned and formatted for rooms you will never enter. You build a model for a regional pricing review. It takes you 11 hours. A director edits 2 cells and presents it as his own slide. You notice, but you say nothing, not yet. You start paying attention to things they don't teach in orientation. Who speaks first in meetings? Who sits where? The managing directors never carry their own binders. The senior VPs pause before they answer, not because they're thinking, but because the pause itself is the answer. You write these patterns in a notebook. After 6 months, you stop writing them down. You've internalized the grammar. Your first annual review comes back, exceeds expectations. A $3,800 raise and a new title, Senior Analyst. You call your mother that evening. She asks if you're eating enough. You tell her yes. You don't mention the 11-hour days. You feel proud. You should. What you don't know yet is how long you'll keep earning things before you start owning them. Level 2, Manager. You move cities, you move companies. The title now reads Manager, Commercial Strategy. The division does $870 million a year. You have 4 direct reports. For the first time in your career, people do things because you said so. You learn to stop talking in meetings. You listen for what isn't being said. Your target is a 3.8% margin improvement across 14 product categories. A McKinsey study from 2019 found that mid-level managers spend 54% of their time on coordination, not strategy. You feel that number in your bones. You approve your first termination. 1 person. The business case takes you 35 minutes to build. You are professional, you are clear, you are fair in every measurable sense of the word. You make the target, barely. That night in a Marriott outside Charlotte, you drink 1 glass of bourbon alone. What you feel is not happiness, it's closer to relief. You file that distinction away. Your division president tells you in a hallway that you have executive presence. You smile, you already knew that. 7 weeks later, a recruiter calls. Director title, larger P&L, different industry entirely. You take the meeting. You always take the meeting. That is the first rule you learned. Level 3, Director. You are inside a private equity-backed company now. $640 million in revenue. A PE firm out of New York owns it, the kind whose name you recognize from case studies but never from headlines. The rules are different here. Everything is about EBITDA, the number that sets the exit multiple. Not revenue, not customer satisfaction. The number. You run 3 business units, $230 million in combined revenue, 14 reports. Every month you sit in a review with the operating partner. He reads every line before you arrive. You learn that the first time you walked in underprepared. Your first major decision, close a distribution facility in Dayton, Ohio. 79 jobs. The math is unambiguous. $4.2 million in annual savings against a $1.1 million severance outlay. You present it in 11 minutes. The CFO asks 2 questions. The partner asks 1. Approved. You fly to Dayton yourself. You stand in front of 79 people and deliver the message alone. You drive to the airport afterward. You don't turn on the radio. You don't need to. What surprises you isn't the decision, it's the absence of regret. You stop calling your mother on Sundays. You don't notice exactly when. By year 2, EBITDA is up $14 million. The partner mentions your name in a portfolio review. The operating team starts copying you on emails they used to send without you. You notice. Level 4, Vice President. The title changes the physics of every room you enter. You sit on the senior leadership team of a $1.6 billion business unit. 160 people report through your function. You sign off on everything beneath you and answer for everything above. You laid your first acquisition, a $145 million specialty chemicals company outside Frankfurt. When Bayer acquired Monsanto for $63 billion in 2018, the integration failures became a Harvard Business School case study in what not to do. You've read it 3 times. You will not make those mistakes. You are in Germany for 4 weeks. You are on calls by 5:30 a.m. for 2 months straight. The integration hits margin targets in year 1. The CFO credits the team in a town hall. You know how credit works now. It flows upward. Blame flows downward. Your job is to reverse that for your people. You are 35. Your net worth crosses $1.4 million, most of it in restricted equity you can't touch for 3 years. You don't feel wealthy. You feel like you haven't moved fast enough. You are invited to observe your first board meeting. You say nothing for 2.5 hours. You watch the chairman run the room, controlled, unhurried, every sentence deliberate. It looks effortless. You know it isn't. You're going to need patience for something you don't have patience for yet. Level 5, Senior Vice President. You run 2,100 people across 9 countries. You look at the org chart. Your name sits at the top. Below it, 2,100 nodes. Every one of them is a person with a mortgage, a family, an expectation of continuity. Every decision you make lands somewhere specific. You stop seeing where it lands. That is the cost of scale. You testify before a Senate subcommittee on supply chain transparency. 40 minutes. Every word is reviewed by legal, approved by the board, rehearsed twice. You give nothing that isn't prepared. You leave the hearing room. The news cycle moves on within hours. You moved on before it did. You have a chief of staff now. Your calendar is managed entirely by other people. Everything that reaches you has been pre-filtered, shaped, summarized. You make the final call on things already decided by the time they reach your desk. You are no longer operating. You are deciding. The distinction will only widen from here. Houston, London, Singapore, back. You eat in airports. You sleep in hotels that all look the same. Your relationships at work are transactional. Outside of work, the difference is hard to find. Your mother leaves a voicemail on a Tuesday. You listen to it on Thursday. You don't call back. You tell yourself you'll call this weekend. You don't. You are not unhappy. You are focused. You have stopped checking whether those are the same thing. Level 6, Chief Operating Officer. You run the company while the CEO builds it. 13,000 employees. Every P&L rolls through you first. You haven't slept past 4 a.m. in 2 years. It isn't stress. It's recalibration. Your body adapted. You didn't ask it to. A product recall hits 2.6 million units across North America. You activate the crisis protocol in 38 minutes. You brief the board that evening, composed, contained, 0 visible damage to your certainty. The recall costs $190 million. You manage it without a single fatality, without a single lawsuit that survives discovery. The board calls it excellent crisis management. You file it as a minimum standard, not an achievement, a flaw. 43 analysts on your quarterly earnings call. Every sentence you speak is paused before you finish it. You have learned a language designed to communicate direction without ever committing to specifics. The SEC filings carry your signature now. One evening between the Mumbai call and the board prep, you sit in your office for 11 minutes doing nothing, not thinking, not planning, just sitting. You wonder briefly if the person who once called his mother every Sunday would recognize the person in this chair. You don't dwell on it, you open the next file. Then one morning the chairman calls you directly, not your assistant, not through the CEO, you. Level 7, Chief Executive Officer. Your first day you inherit everything at once. $11.2 billion in revenue, 19,000 employees, a stock price under pressure, an activist investor, the kind who writes public letters and leaks to the Wall Street Journal, holds 7.1% of your shares. They want 2 board seats and a strategic review. You spend the first 90 days listening, not because you lack a view, because you know how to enter a room where everything is already on fire without reaching for water first. You travel to 14 facilities in 90 days. You sit in town halls. You don't give speeches. You ask questions. Then you move. 4 divisions become 2. You divest $1.3 billion in non-core assets. The stock drops 9% on the announcement. You told the board it would. You were right. By quarter 3, the stock recovers. By year 2, it's up 22%. When Satya Nadella took over Microsoft in 2014, he inherited a company the market had written off. Within 3 years, he shifted the entire culture from know-it-all to learn-it-all. You think about that framing more than you'd admit. 47 analysts. Every pause you take is interpreted. You have learned to communicate trajectory without committing to coordinates. 3 years in, stock up 31%. The board extends your contract without a formal vote. You don't celebrate. There is nothing to celebrate. There is only the next quarter. Then the chairman calls again. The conversation is 4 minutes. It changes the shape of everything after. Level 8. There is no announcement, no press release, no profile in any publication. There is only a set of relationships and positions compounded quietly over 22 years into something that doesn't have a title. You sit on 3 boards. You advise 2 sovereign wealth funds. Your portfolio companies employ 41,000 people across 11 countries. You have visited fewer than half. When markets are stressed, your phone rings before the news breaks. Every time, not sometimes, every time. A Tuesday morning, a call with 3 people, 22 minutes, $5.8 billion in capital allocation, restructured, no recording, no transcript, no minutes. You hang up, you pour coffee, you move to the next item. Governments restructure debt instruments. You are in the room shaping the terms, not signing them. You hold no position requiring Senate confirmation. Your name appears in no filing. The influence doesn't need a title. It never did. Privacy, trust, freedom, human connection. Each one traded quietly year after year for over 2 decades. You made your trade-offs. Every year you stayed, you chose again. They compounded accordingly. 41 floors below, a new analyst walks through the glass lobby doors. His badge is freshly printed. He checked the company's annual report last night, the revenue, the segments, the CEO's name. He memorized the org chart down to the 3rd tier. He pressed his only good suit this morning. He thinks he is beginning a career. He doesn't know he is entering a system with gravity, a system that pulls you upward only by taking something you didn't know you were carrying. He will learn what the system rewards, what it demands, what it takes when you're not counting. The elevator doors open. He steps inside. The lobby doors close behind him. The system doesn't notice. It never does. They always do.